The Kindest channel is back on the docket. The defendants, the most dangerous animals on the planet. Forget the shark, you fear the wrong thing. The numbers are real, I count danger in bodies per year, not fangs, and the deadliest is the one you walk right up to. No lecture at the end either. Buckle up. First, a ton of muscle that pulls a plow more honestly than you show up on Monday. Ox, opening the case file. Pulls the plow, hauls the cart, so you file him under tame. A ton of muscle on curved horns, and out in the country he cripples more people a year than any predator from the movies. Not out of spite, just because you wandered under his ton. The horns are not for photos. He hauls his whole load without a single complaint, while you file one over a slack ping. The dangerous one is the one you stopped respecting. Sin, measuring the horns. I promise up front, today no experiments on the intern. Honest. The intern nodded and carried the tablet in closer to the ox. The ox tossed its head, the horn clipped the tablet and flung it into the furrow. The intern is fine, my tablet is not. Minus a point, and that tablet was working. Between cute farm animal and ribs in a cast is one lazy turn of his head. That is you too, standing shoulder to shoulder with someone who has not noticed you yet. Verdict of the Kindest channel. Brute force. 7 out of 10. Not a villain, just a ton, and that is plenty without any malice. Next. Deadlier than the shark, and you stroll up for honey. B. The dossier. Here it is, the surprise the least promised. You are terrified of the shark you saw once at an aquarium. Meanwhile, bees and wasps take roughly twice as many people as sharks do. Not with supervillain venom, but with allergy. One sting, the throat closes, and the hard-working little insect quietly closes your case. Zero intent, a whole statistic on its conscience. You have feared the wrong thing for years, same way you fear turbulence, not the sugar that is actually finishing you off. Recognize your own list of fears? Sin, just one spoonful. I did promise. Today, no experiments on the intern. The intern did not read the memo. While I talk about the swarm, he already reached into the hive for a spoonful of honey, bare-handed. The swarm did not appreciate it. One sting, the face swells, the color goes green, and the intern sagged off camera. Noted for the record, the allergy is no joke. Confirmed. Posthumously. The bee gets nothing docked. She defended her home. He is the one who reached into someone else's. We will get a new one. There is plenty. Verdict. Underrated. 9 out of 10. She is no villain. The villain is your ranking of fears. Shark on top. The real killer over a flower bed. Next. The monster the movies invented. Almost innocent, for once. Spider, the file. The head monster of your bathroom. 8 eggs, and the movies handed it a whole genre of horror. I opened the file, and for the first time this episode, there is almost no one to charge. Of thousands of species, a handful are actually dangerous, and those are not parked behind your bookshelf. The one in the corner eats your mosquitoes for free and bolts the second you exhale. Its whole bad reputation was written by you, screenwriters who needed a cheap monster only bigger. It catches pests more reliably than you clear out your own fridge. Scene, the face off. I put the spider in front of the camera. Prove the legend. Bite somebody. The director even. It froze. It looks at us with 8 eyes, sizes up the exit, and briskly walks off into a crack about its own business. The only defendant today who found us beneath him. No attack, no venom on camera. Just a working Steve who finds you and your rolled-up magazine boring. The horror was pinned on it by people ashamed to be scared of the dark. It never signed the horror script. Verdict. Reputation, 2 out of 10. A 10 in the movies, a 2 in life, and that only for scaring you unprompted. Acquitted, with slander entered against your name. But first, the audience wants a word with me. Segment Voicemail. A voicemail came in from a viewer. Dale, 47 seconds, recorded straight from the barn. You are spreading panic. My goat is a sweetheart. My goose is my buddy. Never touched me once. In the background, you can hear the goose nipping at him. I played it twice to be sure. Dale, my apologies. The fact you have not been knocked down yet is not their kindness. It is their day off. Though, I get it. You stand next to them as confident as you do next to that 6th streaming subscription you opened, just for one show. and never cancelled. You fear the rare, and the routine eats you alive. Keep them coming. I file every one. Back to the case files. Turkey. Opening the case. 20 pounds of inflated ego people mistake for a dumb barnyard bird. It fans out its chest, goes red in the snoot, and charges anything that so much as twitches. Kids, delivery drivers, its own owners, all around their own yard. It reads your hesitation better than you do. The second it cocks you flinch, it comes for you. And you hand over your spot in line to anyone who elbows ahead at the register. The turkey would already have you cornered behind the shed. 10. Who blinks first? A courage experiment. I show the turkey a red folder. He hates those. The turkey puffs up to double size and comes at me. I, a professional, backed up a little. That was all it took. He tore across the lot, chasing me around the podium. I am running the session at a jog now, minus a point. He is not stronger than me. He just does not retreat, and I retreated first. Same as you, folding the second someone raises their voice. Verdict. Drive, 6 out of 10. No real threat on his own, but he smells who will flinch, and he lives on it. Next, smaller, yet he strikes first thing every morning. Rooster, the dossier. A couple of pounds of pure nerve on sharp spurs. Not a predator, not a giant, yet he walks whole towns into the ER. Strikes in mid-leap with a spur like a knife. Runs down grandma, the kid, and the mail carrier with equal joy. The dangerous one here is not the biggest, but the one with a tiny body and a nerve nobody ever capped. Recognize him? You have got one that wakes you every morning. Also small, also first to strike, and you do exactly what it says. 10. Please vacate the studio. I politely ask the rooster to leave the set. In mid-leap, he cracks a spur across the tablet, knocks it off the podium, and takes the podium himself, chest out like a champion. The new intern leaned in to grab the prop, caught a spur to the boot, hopped back, unhurt but educated. For the first time a defendant is chairing the session instead of me. Minus a point. The podium is mine. The tablet is mine. My dignity is under the podium. You respect your own alarm clock more than this rooster respects every living thing at once. Verdict. Audacity, 5 out of 10, and that is generous. Zero size, a full ER's worth of damage, brakes never installed. Next, a polite giant who gets you without even getting angry. CAMEL, the file. Calm, dignified, gives tourists the rides for the postcard, and also kicks in all 4 directions, bites for real, and holds a grudge longer than you hold one against a middle school bully. He is not mean, he keeps records like the IRS. Wrong him once and he remembers, then one day calmly spits right in your face. He is taller than you, stronger than you, and more patient than you. Lost 3 ways already, and you have not even started arguing. 10. The trust exercise. I walk up politely with a prop, my favorite mug, for gravitas. The camel looks down at me, chews, evaluates. I take 1 step closer, and he calmly, no wind-up, spits straight into the mug. The mug came out worse than I did, minus a point, and that mug was mine, my favorite. He did not even tense up, he just filed his opinion of our little friendship. Same as you, walking up to buddy up with your quiet boss, then wondering where it came from. Verdict. Grudge, 6 out of 10. No anger on his face, all of it inside, weighing like a sentence. And last, the smallest on the list. Alone, nothing. But there are so many of them. Ants, opening the case. 1 ant is nothing, you would not even notice it. But it is never just one. A colony runs into the millions, and some kinds, fire ants, put a grown adult in the ER with 1 coordinated swarm. They haul roughly 50 times their weight and sting on command. Discipline your Monday stand-up could never. Impressive. 1 at a time, 0. In a mob, they flatten everything, including your claim to be the top species here. You talk tough too, until the Black Friday doors open and the crowd decides which way you go. Final scene. I summon a single ant for a face-off. A whole column shows up. I set a crumb on the table, and in 1 minute the table is their logistics hub. Hauling, forming lines, routing around my pencil like it is not even there. For the first time, the defendants outnumber the audience. They are everywhere. That is not a broadcast glitch, that is their numbers advantage. Not one boss among them, and they run tighter than any group project you ever survived. There are plenty of them. For them, unlike for my interns, that is the whole edge. Verdict of the Kindest channel. Numbers 10 out of 10, but only when you cannot count them. Alone, 0. Together, they decide who the host species is. The list is closed. One name left to call. The champion. Case is closed. 7 defendants, -1 intern, 0 mercy. Almost. The bee is deadlier than the shark. The ox is more honest than you. The horror movie spider is clean. And the single most lethal animal on the planet never once took the stand. He is sitting in front of the screen, terrified of the spider in his bathroom, strolling over to pet the ox. The one defendant I have no dossier on, because he is the one who opens a dossier on everybody else. What kills you is not the scary one, it is the one you stopped fearing. You crossed yourself off the list first, and that was the mistake. We will get a new intern, there is plenty of them, like ants. Next time, the sweetest animals you should never once walk up to. Subscribing will not gore you and will not sting you. The one thing here you do not have to fear. The Kindest channel rests its case.